Hello, what's up? I'm gonna make this as quick as I can, this early context, but please watch it because I always put context at the start of this video, and it's a long video, so I just want to make sure that you're on the same page. This is another edited down version of my Genshin gameplay. I hope you enjoy it. This is more of Chapter 4. I believe this is just the continuation of Act 1 and all of Act 2 of Chapter 4 are in this video. So I do still have a little bit of footage that has been recorded, but I haven't put in this video, because it already took a long time to put this video together on its own. So, I have played, I think, Acts 3 and 4, and so I'll have to put that in the next edited video that I do, and then I get to play more. I haven't played Act 5 of Chapter 4 onwards yet. So, I'm really excited whenever I can jump back into it. But because of that, this footage is actually quite old. So the quality isn't as good as the quality normally is, because I had to download it off of my backup channel and stuff like that. So, so sorry if the quality isn't as good as it normally is. If you want to watch the unedited version of this footage, you know, that doesn't have any of the cuts, that just has the raw footage, I always post that on my second channel, Gent Watches More. It's in the description below, so you can go check that out if you want to see it. But otherwise, please make sure to support the video, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel, but especially comment telling me that if you like these sorts of videos, and tell me like the parts of the video that you like, or the parts of the mission that you like, or talk about the missions, any of that stuff. The comments really help me out, so please make sure to do that. Just as a little update, normally I've been doing Hoyoverse content. I've been doing it for every week for a while now on this day, but I might in the future be trading off Hoyoverse content with other stuff for a little bit, and seeing how it goes. So instead of doing Hoyoverse stuff every week, I might do like Hoyoverse, and then I do a different video, and then Hoyoverse, and then do a different video. That's the plan right now, but I guess we'll see. So yeah, keep your eye out. But if you like the Hoyoverse content and you want more of that, just keep supporting those videos. Keep commenting on them, keep liking the videos, because if the videos get like a lot of engagement and stuff, then I would go back to doing more Hoyoverse content rather than fewer videos. So yeah, it all depends on you guys. But anyway, that's enough yapping from me. I hope you enjoy this edited down video of some of my favorite missions of Genshin Impact, I think. Mostly because they were very Ace Attorney-like, and I'm a big Ace Attorney fan. But just go and enjoy Genshin Impact. Here we go.
I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Kel. I know you already claimed
You'd be so afraid.
But now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
You'd be so afraid of performing, I feel like, after this. Like, after something like this happens at one of your shows.
Girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear. I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance,
you might have to tell me how your tricks work.
The impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been possible.
That's so funny.
Reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh?
I don't know about cool.
Lynette used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Aw, Lynette.
Good taste, Lynette.
We'll be counting on you.
Yes, thank you so much.
I won't let you down.
Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Is this gonna be one of those things where he's gonna be like, I can't reveal my secrets, like I'd be giving away my entire profession if I did that.
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential
Yeah,
trade secrets as
even though it's a murder trial.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Lyney.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind
Okay,
our tricks is going
good.
to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the
Good,
truth
good,
behind
good, good.
what happened, then it will be well worth it.
We're Lyney and Lynette's and journeys.
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Furina mentioned. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
Wasn't the girl supposed to be
This is
there?
the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for little while.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorney.
Actually, it was more New
I
Everlet
know
that
there's no such thing as
convinced
magic.
us to be his attorney.
You may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows? Maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
I like that Paimon's still wearing those stupid fucking glasses. You use the case record. Whoa, that's a court record! Confirm the current evidence and clue collection. You can check as yet discovered evidence and clues in the case record and investigate the corresponding area to locate them. Using the perception skill to find evidence and clues that can be investigated within a certain radius around yourself is to advance your overall progress. That's the fucking detective minigames! This is cool! The deceased is one of Lenny's assistants named Cowell. He was well trusted by all his colleagues. His job was setting up, inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. Well, let's examine the white line. This is where the magic box was struck. If Cowell weren't inside... This is where the magic box was struck. If Cowell weren't inside the box at that moment, he might have dodged a falling water tank. Okay, there's something over here. The broken magic box was left on the scene after the guards completed their investigation. Looking at it now, the water tank must have struck it really hard. Yeah, I mean, it fucking shattered it.
The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
It was either Lyney didn't realize it was a safety concern, or the rope was used to suspend the water tank. It suddenly broke when the fireworks were being shown. The investigation has shown that the location where the rope snapped was made of flammable material.
She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself.
Hosey.
She wasn't a regular at the Opera House.
She's
She'd
like
been feeling
Banksy?
some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact her. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Well, the police in this city seem nice. Halsey's a missing person. She's a famous painter, but came to watch the magic show in order to take a break from her own creative work. She's known to have been entangled in quarrels with any of the members of Lenny's magic troupe. This is awesome.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
Ah,
See,
it chose
told
something on
you.
purpose.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lyney.
Thanks, sorry to bother you.
Paimon had better write it down.
Yeah, of course, you need this information. Okay. Who is this cute cop? Hello? Are you single? Possibly? Because I'm not. Traveler's probably not single. I have so many girlfriends. It looks like an ordinary box, but Lyney somehow moved instantly from the stage to being inside of it. How did he do it? Greetings, Estildor.
Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too.
Yes, you are Clifford
Find any
Chapin.
New and interesting leads. It all started with that loud thud.
I wonder if Clifford Chapin...
What? Oh, you mean
First
the
of all,
sound
I don't even know if
that
I'm
happened
pronouncing his
during
name right. I say his name so much, but I never know if it's like Chapin or Chapin. But I wonder if he watched my videos, he would be annoyed at the fact that every time he voices a character, I point out that, oh, no, it's Clifford Chapin. Every single time. In every piece of media I watch, I say as soon as he pops up, that's Clifford Chapin. Because for me, he's got one of the most recognizable voices. And he also does a lot. Like, he does a lot in anime, but he also does stuff in, like, other video games and stuff. I remember he was in Spider-Man 2, the PS5 game. And while I was playing that, I was just, like, constantly hearing his voice and going, like, Clifford Chapin's in this scene. He likes to play a lot of side characters, and I shouldn't say likes to. Maybe he doesn't like it, but he does play a lot of side characters and random thugs and stuff.
Yes, perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
Then wouldn't the water tank have started to swing a bit in that case?
That's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
Good.
That does remind
Good job
Paimon,
not,
though.
like, backing
What was
down
with that
when you are faced with evidence. During the switching performance, there was an audible thump, yeah. This is so much like an Ace Attorney case, it's crazy. Isn't this where her seat is? I thought the seat might have some evidence to it, but I guess not. But I can talk to my clients. Molly!
I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but That's alright.
Okay, I was trying to talk to Molly.
Still talking
Oh
to
my
the
god.
thing.
Anything out here?
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Navia?
You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
I love the music.
Right on the mark!
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula?
Spina di
From mediating
Rosula.
disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums. You name it. Spina di Rosula does it.
Okay.
And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Navia. Such a pretty design.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus.
If you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
You want to investigate as well?
I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Lyney an unlikely mastermind.
Good.
But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
I like this shot.
Furina sure was quick to point the finger at Lyney without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
I'm not suspicious of this. I think I get Furina, and I think she gets caught up in the moment. She went for it, like she was just like accusing the you know, most possible suspect just because, you know, it's a dramatic moment. And then as soon as it came time to, as soon as Navia were like, oh, whoa, okay, are you pressing charges? She's like, well, I don't think we need to be doing that. You know, she immediately backed off, which makes me think like she just got caught up in the moment, but then she had to double down because everyone was there watching her.
But
So I'm not suspicious of
uncommon
her.
for her.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from being carried
Okay,
away.
I'm glad they said it.
And, of course, there was no way Furina was going to back down in that situation.
Exactly what I said.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
I must admit that she can be interesting at times. But liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
True.
All right,
You're very
I've
reasonable,
answered your
Navia.
question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute. Did that answer count?
I say it again. Do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
No.
And why would that be?
Yeah, it makes it easy. I see. This one I don't care as much about, but yeah, the truth is what I care about.
Of you, demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent.
I love these guys.
How wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based, in fact.
You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
Thanks.
Okay, we will be revealing Lily's tricks. We already agreed to it, but thanks, appreciate it. Okay, Tristane.
Representing Lyney and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
I get to see this design close up.
After the Chief Justice gave the order,
Cute.
everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. Well, because I was in charge of
Look at the
security
tail
at the
going.
entrance at that time,
Cute.
I couldn't see Lyney's performance from here. I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave.
I like this voice actor.
We are good at that sort of thing, you know.
Millicines.
So, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
No one left the opera house during the magic show, and after the incident happened, only those who had their identities cleared by the guards could leave.
I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the fire.
I like that she gets like dramatic angles, like a lot of close-ups on her mouth and stuff.
To perform it more easily.
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Mm.
Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
The back?
Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
There's another box inside this one.
Exactly.
So there was a passageway under the magic box.
And this passageway linked the 2 boxes together.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. Member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
You were talking that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My
Oh?
assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what
Cool.
about Lynette? Where was she?
I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who.
Gotcha.
And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
That's cool. It's like the Prestige.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in.
Like, and since she
jumping
only
into the tunnel
goes
and
out for like
escaping
half a
before the box on the
second,
trolley could finish ascending.
it makes you
And then
think
I walk out of the other box
know,
in the audience area.
that it
and
wasn't-
the trick would be complete.
that it was
The
him.
operative.
We really don't know how that happened.
Well, it had to have happened down here at some
This would
point.
have been an astonishing trick. I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime. So Lyney and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict.
That animation of him
Disappear
going
into
like
thin
that.
air, you know.
What's this?
Looks like a hook.
Grappling
tied
hook.
to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Then he didn't mention this earlier.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be
And
found.
then he didn't mention the guest having a wardrobe change.
Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Did the glasses always have swirls on them? Maybe. I just don't remember the swirls. I thought we could see Paimon's eyes through them. I thought they were like no frames. High precision is required to complete this magic show, and tracks are perfect for making the trolley stay on its designated course. Designated. All kinds of props and costumes are haphazardly stuffed inside. The trolley is crucial for transporting the magic box to the other side. The culprit must use this to execute their plan. And here's the big thing.
The space would be too narrow.
Would it?
There are no other ways in or out of here.
And Lyney and Lynette were in the 2 magic boxes.
You're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Yippee! Return to the surface level.
All the current evidence points toward Lyney and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The oratrice will too?
That's right.
Paimon thought Neverlet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference.
Mhm.
Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Interesting.
The guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
But I have to go
Because
claim
we've
my
chosen to act as
daily
the
commission
twins'
rewards.
And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like a good idea.
No, look, her glasses are rimless. I mean, frameless now. Wait, not frameless. Lensless now. They're just frames.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to
Yes.
meet Mademoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
From the way you have these 2 guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking.
I was thinking that as well, but no, she
Doing the entire thing by yourself.
she wants to make them.
Egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
Silver is great.
Encouraging smile.
That's not what Paimon meant, but okay.
I was just thinking, this.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks.
That's great,
Don't
Navia.
underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Eating too many sweet treats might send all the
Paimon, you're
sugar
so
to your
small.
head.
macaron is the size of your
About the
head.
case on a sugar rush.
Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked, I guess.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
5? Oh, that can't be right.
At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
Aw, she ate someone else's food.
Eating is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
Everyone knows how much you love eating.
Even you don't believe Paimon?
Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
What if someone stole them?
What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
There's really no need to do that.
We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Yeah, it's like Ace Attorney. You don't know who the killer is when you start the trial in any given day. You just, or Danganronpa, you know? You just start, you know, picking apart the mysteries and then eventually you'll get there.
Even I doubt Furina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
So does Furina serve as a prosecutor? Because I imagine Violette's like the judge. So I imagine Furina's the prosecutor. And then the oratrice is basically the jury making the final decision.
Disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed?
Tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed.
I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Just you wait!
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Fuck yeah!
In order for the audience to understand the causes and results,
Please
of
be
the
a Phoenix Wright cross-examination
Mr.
minigame.
Lyney explain the trick.
All the necessary items have been prepared.
Okay, Lynette's gonna have to walk all the way down there. Good, they skipped through the explanation. I'm glad they did that.
In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Well, and thus
That's
did
correct,
not.
Your
Not could not have necessarily.
Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lyney is clearly
objection!
There's no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell.
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Lyney not know about that sound?
Yeah, I'm sure you could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
Interesting.
Right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Could those mean...
That's cool. Although this is also in one of the Ace Attorney games. In Great Ace Attorney, there are these scales that represent the jury's thoughts on the situation.
Actions are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
House of the Hearth.
House of the Hearth?
They're Fatui. Yeah, I thought so. I mean, the funding that I was talking about before, but also, I mean, they talked about father, and I was pretty sure that that Arlecchino was Fatui. So I thought because they talked about a father.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Uh-oh. The oratrice is deciding.
Have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps
Cool
you could tell us
fucking
everything
transitions.
that happened during that 1 minute. Unless your script already has holes in it.
Well, are you conflicted now?
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, they look flabbergasted. Now comes the infamous...
That's great, having a little ghost Furina to show her feelings inside. All those preparations?
Why didn't you tell us this
Just like preparing that speech, or? Lyney and Lynette are Fatui.
Order! Order!
Oh, she's so conflicted on that, because
Allow me
the
to
Fatui have
reestablish
fucked
the
us over a
facts.
lot.
Lady first,
Oops.
when the thud was heard in the opera house, a hearth, Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Lyney has concealed his identity, this could have been set up beforehand. This is why, back in the old days, actors weren't allowed to, like, testify to, you know, murders and stuff, or, you know, any sort of court cases, because they were seen as professional liars, so people didn't trust them. Blush Child is here in Fontaine along with other house operatives. There must be a scheme at work here. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Okay, those things are true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor? My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we
I love Neuvillette.
This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
He's so reasonable.
In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Oh gosh, I love all these characters. I think there's not a single character in these scenes that I don't love.
Well, this is...
I even love Lyney. I didn't think I'd love Lyney, but I do.
I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you.
So you're saying Arlecchino is a good harbinger?
The truth
She's
is
got good
very
motives?
important, but
I don't know what her
being
motives are.
transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie?
Right. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
I'll forgive Lynette for anything. Look at her. She's so sweet.
Well, you both say that, but...
Explain the other issue first. Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations,
Why do you want to know
we
that?
learned that the machine's core is beneath it, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the
Oh,
upper
this is
half basement
interesting.
via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
So the vent was for
That air vent
you.
was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Nothing. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Okay.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth.
Alright.
I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
That seems legit.
You decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
You decide! I believe in the facts. Facts don't care about your feelings. I believe judgment will be dispensed as it should. That's a good answer.
Okay, thank you.
Like, give them the best
Thanks for
defense you
giving us a
can.
chance. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over. Let's go back. Then he claims that he headed to the chamber containing the Oratrice core upon entering the tunnel, did not witness the crime taking place, and thus did not hear the thud. Then he claims to have heard a mysterious voice within the chamber that houses the Oratrice core within the Opera House's underground structures. I heard a mysterious voice when I came up to the Opera House at first. I don't know if it's the same thing, but just putting it out there. The brief adjournment ends and the nail-biting trial reconvenes.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
Let's revisit that scene from Lyney's perspective.
I love the points. It's so Phoenix Wright. Based on the opposition's account of events, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of fact and replace them with new inferences. Use your refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. The Oratrice will display such shifts clearly. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. Oh my gosh, it's just like in Danganronpa, like creating the... It feels like creating the comic book at the end of Danganronpa case.
The flatbed trolley pass. He opened the box.
This feels Danganronpa inspired.
Before operating the devices such that Cal's death would be ruled an accident.
Okay, what happened to the girl?
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Furina's description of the events?
Nothing immediately stood out to me.
Is the order of events.
I have to be quiet.
Experienced and what he saw.
I always have to listen to any Lumine voice lines closely because we don't get many of them. So, Lyney entered the tunnel as the countdown began. The loud sound was from Lyney and Halsey's fight, but Lyney claimed that he heard nothing in order to cover the truth up. Lyney knocked Halsey out using the vase and removed her clothes to prevent her from being identified. However, was Lyney really in the tunnel at the time? Cal walked in on Lyney, so the latter knocked him out with the vase, leading to the victim's death. Yep. The existing evidence indicates that when Lyney returned to the tunnel, the crime had already taken place, and all Lyney saw was... Okay. A meticulously designed magic prop activated, causing the water tank to crash down and make everything seem like an accident. Alright, well, let's just look first. Lyney claims that he heard the chamber. I just need to take this slowly, because I'm gonna panic. Lyney knocked Halsey out using the vase and removed her clothes to prevent her from being identified. Was Lyney really in the tunnel at the time? I mean, there's this statement, but it's not really proof. This is just my defendant says nah. Alright, well, let's try this. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Seems this won't produce a particularly effective rebuttal.
This is actually kind of tough because I don't know like where... Like, this seems to actually like make sense. I don't feel like I've got like strong evidence against it, you know, like, because he claims he wasn't there, but yeah, that's not a good rebuttal. I agree. I agree about that. No, really. Okay, well, I'll just go through everything one by one, I guess. Let's try this. Okay.
He did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Mm-hmm. So I think I'm answering the blue text. So I think maybe I'm just piecing this together for myself. That's the idea. Was Lyney really in the tunnel at that time? There we go.
Lyney went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Alright. And he didn't hear the thud.
According to Lyney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
There we go.
Attention!
Okay.
Yes, Detective. Lyney did indeed go into the tunnel.
So we're just putting together our story there. I think I was thinking of that as a different thing. I think I was thinking of that as if it were a cross-examination in Phoenix Wright. But really, it was like I'm putting together what the story, or like basically what actually happened, what the story that we're telling is, which is a different thing. I wasn't trying to point out contradictions in it necessarily.
But he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface.
Okay. Alright. Scales are tipping back a bit. But they're probably not tipping back in the actual oratories. Probably just in that visual.
That's right.
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The on-stage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. However, you say that Cowell bumped into Lyney by chance.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill?
Very good point.
What you say is true. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
That's so true.
Well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claim?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Lyney's alibi initially? Your claim has now become my weapon. Oh, wow. Where's the evidence that Lyney wasn't in the tunnel when the trial took place? This is a cool section though, I like this. And no one left. So I think it's gotta be the thump.
That's right! Lyney wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. This means that when the crime happened, Lyney had already entered the basement via the vent.
It's not great evidence though, because it's just...
His alibi has now become the
Well played.
To think you'd use such
I like these sequences.
But then who was it?
I don't know. The murderer was... What the heck? Are we figuring it out now? Select the gear icons in the interface to check the corresponding case questions. Select answers to fill all the empty gears to verify the correctness of your deduction. If you've made mistakes, you must make another selection from the remaining options. Once you've answered all the questions correctly, you can complete this logic chain. The guard's investigation report indicates that the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope suspending the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cal in the box below. If Lyney is no longer under suspicion, only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Lyney gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work. By using a box inside a box, the idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lyney himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of on-stage interactions. The clothes belonged to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Who was the only person who could have possibly committed the crime? So that's the victim. That's the other victim. That's a kidnapped victim.
And a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Well, her clothes are gone. The problem is, if only the members of the troupe are able to do that, then it's gotta be Cal. He's the only one who can do it, right? Hypothesis correct. Very nice. It's one of those situations. He was probably trying to kill someone else or something.
The killer was, in fact, Cal, the deceased!
Then. What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
I love hearing her voice. Okay. How can we envisage Lyney as having been unable to interfere with the crime? Whew. Man, this is taking a lot out of my brain. Okay. How can we envisage Lyney? What a confusing way to write that sentence. How can we envisage Lyney as having been unable to interfere with the crime? Jesus.
Lyney was not
Well,
in the tunnel at that moment.
if it's about being unable to, surely it's that. How can I prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel? This. Who is the prime suspect currently?
His name is Cowell.
Cowell. Where did the missing Halsey go? I don't know then.
Sound we heard may have...
I don't know. If they can't go through the vent...
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances.
Well, I don't know where she went then. That's the big question. If she couldn't go through the vent because she would have bumped into Lyney. Oh god. Can I put that there? Oh yeah, it's the clothing one, yeah. Where did the missing Halsey go? Alright, well let's try the vent. Oh, it's not that. Okay, well. Now I wonder... What? That was the only option it gave me. The criminal must have understood the methods behind Lyney's magic trick and must... Oh, fuck. I couldn't stop it in time. Leaving aside how he died, Cal had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. The strange noise could likely have been the sound of Cal and Halsey struggling. Lyney was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cal to bring Halsey out of the magic box in the audience stands. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house, so even if he had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience. Pretty much guaranteed that they would have been discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring
Okay,
things
so
out?
we were supposed to get it wrong, I think. Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is.
Well, you guys don't know where Halsey went either.
A real live person disappear? You know, like you did from that water
Escaping from the water tank. Wait, could it have been the water?
Excuse my
The water?
interruption, dear opponents. Then an awkward delay in the performance.
Is this why she got rid of the clothes? Because she was like going in the water or something? What was like she didn't want them to get wet? Or
If
what?
the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next
Or
stage
he was
of the
putting
trial.
her in the I don't know. Hold it!
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant.
Where did the missing Halsey go?
This was not
So her costume was wet. So she took it off and then or he took it off her or something. Someone took it off and then broke the vase to make it look like the vase was full of water, but actually it was wet because they were in the water tank? That's as far as I've got.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here.
I request that we examine
Magic trick.
Cow's personal effects. We might find something there.
We haven't placed much attention on him, but given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with
I
all
like these
sorts of
creative
harebrained
shots.
schemes when
Well,
at the end of
creative.
their rope.
It's just they put a line down the middle, but I like it.
Your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of
Nevertheless? Don't you mean
Since the trial
Neverlet?
does indeed appear to be at
Neverlet?
an impasse. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
After some time, a guard returns with news.
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs. It's likely that Halsey was chosen.
Oh my
as some
god.
sort of test
This is
subject.
some heavy evidence
As
that we
such,
just
we
found on
believe
his
that the
body.
defense's hypothesis is,
Or on his
fact,
belongings.
supported by sufficient evidence.
Quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
Oh.
Surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues.
True.
Still,
I respect it.
Let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found.
We uphold this hypothesis. I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
I forgot about that.
From the primordial sea.
Who's the prime
The
suspect?
deceased's name
Still him. What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the disillusion?
As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Is this controlling the timing? Or is it
Now
this?
It seems like the hook rope. The
I'm gonna
rope that's strung
I'm gonna try the special rope, I guess. Like using it like a fuse. What item did the culprit use to dissolve
The water from the
Halsey?
primordial
The
sea.
water. It is to hide the mechanism behind the crime. This is all wrong. Yeah, okay. Those two are wrong. So control the timing is maybe this one. And then this one is maybe to hide the mechanism? No, the rope's wrong. I'm getting close. Hide the mechanism.
Lynette was in the magic.
I think it's this
remember
one.
there was
something else. Got it. Whew.
The original plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target.
Mhm.
When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. Unexpected in the tunnel. and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh yeah. Oratrice is getting more to our side.
Oh dear. What do I do? Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Well, I'm glad to hear this is how she's thinking.
What a humiliation.
There's not many cases where we get to see what other people are thinking.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention
Is there
the exact
any
circumstances that led to Cal's death.
Is there any situation in this game so far that we've been able to see what other people are thinking?
His notes mentioned he had an
Sometimes we hear them
accomplice
whisper to
related
themselves or whatever.
situation.
Involved in this case, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Lyney's personal effects.
Okay.
What?
That can't be.
Right.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound
That seems like it's
you.
easy to plant though, right?
Does my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
So cool.
He did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. He is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I
Alright.
Mr. Lyney?
Ruh-roh.
I believe this is indeed the finale.
She's a great voice actress.
Now then,
She's
my
so...
good, noble
I get so
Chief
drawn in when she
Justice.
speaks.
Should we... Excuse me, everyone.
Oh!
I must interject.
Navia!
I must ask you not to shout.
I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has
Oh.
disappeared. Honors, Mr. Lyney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No
I don't know, but I'm
offense,
interested.
Miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion.
I love every character in this scene.
Can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And voila.
And voila. Oh shit!
Sorry for the interruption.
I just spent the last day as water.
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
The proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
Oh my gosh.
What? It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
Okay.
I heard that Lyney's show was going to be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago.
Wait.
And I barely got away.
Wait.
Lyney was the one who caught me in the act.
Whoa, this is the thief girl? I didn't recognize her. I didn't recognize her. I'm so dumb.
That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought
That's
she
why
was
she
on
did
to
the
me for
laugh,
sure.
little nervous
So
laugh.
I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee.
Even hide in there?
If they're a practiced hand at
But I
concealment,
swear,
yeah.
I didn't know that the water tank would fall down.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Now it's time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reasoning.
We need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
This is what a twist. Okay, I like it. All right, let's look for. There's probably blue text. There we go. And how would Halsey have reacted? Okay, so Cal planned to use the prepared apparatuses for the magic tricks to dissolve Halsey inside the magic box. As Halsey had appeared completely unharmed before all of our eyes, Furina's conjecture no longer holds water. And how would Halsey have reacted when the water from the primordial sea suddenly began to trickle in? As Halsey, he wanted all the credit and the glory and wanted to get rid of his partners. As Halsey is completely unarmed before all of our eyes, Furina's conjecture no longer holds water, but there is evidence proving that a fight did indeed break out in the tunnel, yes. So this is using the vase. Wait, is that what it is? She took off her wet clothes. Yeah, there you go. Thump.
The
She
strange
fucked
sound
off.
Wasn't from a fight.
Yeah.
It was Lily Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Got it. Got it. Understood. Paimon, relax. Stealing a ticket that was for an assigned person when who's supposed to be in that seat is well documented is not a great idea. Because if that person was like, oh, my ticket was stolen, then they'll go, okay, we'll just wait for who shows up to use the ticket. And then they'll be prime suspect number one. If they show up and go, my name's Halsey, then we go, okay, well, you're going to jail.
It's already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right
Oh!
What a sneaky thief.
That's how that ties in.
All the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
People love the twist ending.
Now then, Lady Furina, do you wish to speak against the defense's
Do you have anything left?
Please. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Look at that!
I love this.
Inflated balloon now.
I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
Oh my
The
gosh,
actual
it is gonna be like
perpetrator of the
Danganronpa.
Serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid, finally, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according
That's
to her own
crazy.
statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house.
Well, thank God he
As for
died
Lily,
and not
he was in the underground
anyone
structures within the opera house and was thus ignorant
who
of
is
these
innocent.
happenings. He, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Fuck yeah! But you have to go to the
While there is much
oratrice.
in Lyney and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the oratrice
Here
to
we
make
go.
the final decision.
Oratrice Mechanistiana Lis Cardinal. Make the decision. 404. Page
Lyney
not
and
found.
Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Yay!
Great work, partners.
Thank you all.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet. Why?
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Lyney's baggage?
Right. Or was that not a discovery? But
I
false
just assumed it was
evidence that
planted.
You dare to bring before this court.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Lyney, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
A duel.
Speak quickly.
Following orders, we were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lyney, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
You have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the
True. Neverland's so cool.
Yes. I'll tell you everything I know. Diluted can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration.
As a drug?
We've been in this business for a while now and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The
Oh God. I thought something might happen to him, but I didn't know he'd turn into water.
Now he can no longer talk.
Nothing is found on the scene apart from the liquid left behind after Vaughn dissolved.
So, we're just going back now?
And what else are we gonna do? We're not needed here anymore.
Please wait.
Do you want to give us a goodbye kiss? Are we still mad at you because of the Fatui stuff?
I know you may not want to speak to me right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't wish to see anyone be falsely accused.
I guess, intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Lyney this entire time.
I like Lyney. I want us to...
It's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, but I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
Got it.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
That's what I was thinking.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. Bounce. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is.
That pisses me off.
But wouldn't Fontaine's laws...
Ooh, man.
As far as outsiders
that made me angry.
This is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. And they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Villains.
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. My way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
My sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement. All of them orphans.
Oh.
Father, I mean, the knave. Betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her.
This is really interesting, because I don't know where this is gonna go.
She was also quick to destroy.
But I love it.
Who had taken us in at first.
So that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
The knave is after the Gnosis, isn't she?
She has her own plans.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
These options make me sad, but I'm just gonna say I'm sorry, even though it's the same thing. This isn't two options. This is just they're both the same line. But I'm gonna say I'm sorry and pretend that I just said I'm sorry.
Feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Lyney.
I understand. Oh man. We're gonna see Navia, yeah.
I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
I'm sorry, Navia.
What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend Lyney. I wasn't necessarily looking into the serial disappearance cases.
I see.
Aww.
I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you
Oh, she's disappointed. That actually hurts my heart.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
Gosh.
It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire.
This Archon Quest is making me feel a lot.
And the reflection in the murk to become clearer. It would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Let's go have that meal then. Chapter 4, Act 1 complete. Well, I think I can very confidently say I just finished my favorite Archon quest in the game. That Chapter 4, Act 1, that scratched every itch for me. That was amazing. I really, really loved that. Like, if I'm thinking of my favorite quests in the game, my favorite Archon quests in the game, right? I'm thinking of, I'm thinking of, I think, Chapter 3. Like, the Samsara Festival in Chapter 3 was a great quest. But, you know, that was still a lot of, like, information gathering and like, it was cool and interesting, but, you know, there were things that I loved about it and things that I just found alright. But I really loved the overall story of that. And then there's Chapter 3, Act 5, which I just thought was really awesome from start to finish, but was very long and There were some bits of it that felt like they dragged a bit. But this quest, holy shit, I cannot think of a single moment in this quest that I wasn't fully engaged in, that I wasn't really, really interested in. I loved every moment of this damn quest. It was fun, it was unique, its theming was awesome, and every single character we met was incredible. Really, really great. I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy with that quest. I'm so giddy right now. Because that was truly just the fucking greatest. We're going to be continuing the Archon Quests. We're moving into Act 2. And Act 1 of Chapter 4 was incredible.
We called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
It was certainly worth celebrating.
We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really
Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up plan.
It happened right in front of us.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
And it's only people from Fontaine, right?
This was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
We wanted to ask the Hydra Archon for more information.
That's true. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance
But
today.
she seems interested in us.
Ways, perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Maybe?
Rosula's boss for you.
One way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Furina would be eager to see the ending.
What?
Agree in order to finish watching the play.
That's crazy. What a weird plan.
This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
I know how to act.
I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
I like her plan so far.
False accusation she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
That if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
It's worth a try.
Why don't we give it a try after this meal?
Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention. And
Yeah, I mean, the cup's closer to her than it is to
Would you
you.
like to order another? See, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
My drink also tested that way. Oh no.
Well,
Is there a
in
reason?
that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Oh no, was there something that we just drank that was bad? Did we just get roofied?
Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try walking, you know?
That would be so normal. You know, like you.
I feel like Paimon walking would be really creepy to look at.
Expenses this month? It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina
Is she
Tea
going
Rosula can't
broke?
cover.
Bye, Navia.
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine,
Look at her
you're always
fucking
welcome to
outfit.
contact
It's so
the Spina Tea
gorgeous.
Rosula. I'll give your request the highest priority.
Although I feel so bad for cosplayers. Look at all that shit.
I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
There's so much shit on that costume. If you love that character and you, yay, Act 2. If you love that and you try to make that costume, oh my god. It would be so difficult. It's still talking.
Looks like we're back here again. Paimon can kind of hear a voice.
Oh,
Calling for Vache, right?
okay, she can hear it. Oh. It's, yeah, like the Oceanid. Where's this?
Are you my dear Vache? Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
Who are you?
Wait. Who am I? things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten.
Oh. Man, I know this isn't the time, but Traveler's facial expressions, I always love them. Something about that wide-eyed look, it's really cool.
I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water.
Oh, so you were dissolved.
Can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could be.
So you need me to find him?
No. Such longing. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great...
That's what I was thinking. Is Vache the one who dissolved you? What if Vache is the one who did this? He, like, used to, you know, seduce a bunch of young women and then dissolve them.
Is that a sense my presence? Remember, if you see Vache, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
Okay. I feel like we're gonna arrest Vache if we see him, because I'm suspecting him. Oh, it's a cutscene though. What the fuck is going... What the fuck? What the fuck happened? Well, this is awesome. I love... Whoa!
Demoiselle, look out!
Why are we being attacked?
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
So why are the Gardamex attacking us? Oh, Chlorend.
Chlorand?
Is she defending us? I thought for a second she was controlling the Gardamex. But no. Is she just gonna zip, 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 zip through them?
Quick,
like a zigzag pattern? Oh, she's cool. Oh! She did zigzag through them, I like that. Oh, she's so cool. I'm so glad I unlocked her character, Claudend. I can't wait to level her up till she's strong enough. Fucking awesome cutscene. Wow.
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge
I'm
is
so
actually
dizzy.
called stalking. Is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust.
Do not speak of my father.
Your father? Okay.
I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
Her whatever was very good
I know
voice
much more
acting.
than you. None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the
Okay,
authorities to
that
enforce
answers
the
my
law.
question.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Good day, Clorand. I really like you.
Right.
I mean, your character is very simple,
Best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle,
but
I believe
you have style.
that Miss Clora...
She's...
Ugh. Who was that? Oh yeah, Traveler doesn't really know her. Come on. It's on auto. There you go.
That champion duelist named Chlorand who came out to save us too. We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Thanks for the rescue, Navia.
Oh, come now.
He mentioned that.
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
Oh?
How did that help?
You said that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors.
Okay.
So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So what?
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Oh.
Yes.
So, if you hadn't
Shit.
drunk that cup...
Navia would have fucking dissolved.
Dirosula is preparing the
Oh,
grandest of
shit.
awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh. Really?
Jeez.
Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too. But it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
The ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
Maybe.
Doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel.
New intel?
Hear it, shall
Oh
we?
yeah, that's why Paimon could hear the voice a little bit. And before we were good with, because she before had like no connection to the hydro, and then she got a little bit of it. But then we had, you know, connection to hydro, and then we drank the thing, and then we had a lot, and that's why we could talk to the Oceanid like properly, face to face. So interesting. I really like this mystery and
Vache,
this
That
storyline.
name doesn't ring a bell. We will continue to investigate.
You mean us too, right?
You mean you'll help us investigate?
Oh, she's so happy.
Say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners.
Oh, cute.
Besides, people who targeted us get off the hook so easily. Are you, Traveler?
Demoiselle, do try not
I
to
love
request
Traveler's
things.
pride.
You are
Let's continue, travel.
Yeehaw! Oh. This isn't as nice as I thought it would be. 200 Mora and 1 potato. I mean, those aren't even worth clicking F on. So cool. I actually really love those little spots that like take a picture. What I do wish though is that it had a button that said save photo at the bottom there and you could save it. Because I actually want those screenshots that they give me. But they don't save them. What the fuck? What are you?
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little
That's why she was
tight
nervous
lately.
about the bill before.
After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering.
Well, that's good.
In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Father, he was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right?
Careful, this is a sore subject.
My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful.
The Unfaithful? Did he cheat on his
3
wife?
years ago, in trial. He died in the duelist ring.
Oh,
Oh no.
interesting.
But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it,
Did he throw the
that
door?
even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender.
Oh.
Determined to die in the arena. If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
Bam! I'm looking up Navia's voice actor. She's won me over. There's certain moments where I go, yep, I like this person enough that I need to know who does it. It is Brenna Larson. I have not heard of her name. Let's see what else she's in. She's in Honkai Star Rail. I cannot wait to play Honkai Star Rail. Octopath Traveler 2. I played a bit of the first Octopath Traveler game, and at the time, I didn't enjoy it. But I kind of want to go back to it one day and see if I do enjoy it. But apparently, Octopath Traveler 2 fixes some of the problems that the first game had, so I would maybe just try 2. I don't know who she is. I don't recognize any of her parts. But I mean, she's pretty and she's a great voice actress. What more could you need? Oh, she's Guillaume Hall in Master Detective Archives Raincode. I feel like, because I've played Master Detective Archives Raincode. Which one's Guillaume Hall? Oh, her! Oh, she did great in that game.
Know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth.
I'm so attached to you, Navia.
If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive.
I have this, like, I'm smiling at this scene. I've said this before in different things. Sometimes when I smile at things like this, it's not a smile of, like, I recognize this is a sad scene. I'm not smiling at the situation. I'm smiling because I'm really enjoying it. Sometimes I'm watching a really, like, a sad scene or a good motivation or a really good setup, and I can't help but just watch it and smile because I feel this excitement inside me for how much I'm enjoying the way the story's coming together. You know, we're quite alike in this regard.
Gallus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Gallus the Unfaithful.
Yeah, you fuck one sheep.
Even our
That kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like
But I feel like being from
People
Fontaine
love watching the evil
adds
turn
to
over
that.
a new leaf.
Was Ms. Cloran.
Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
I don't think that's super fair. I mean, it's her job to do the duels. And apparently she injured him and he still didn't surrender. So she had to do it, you know? Like, he had a chance and she probably gave him that chance. I imagine she purposefully, you know, she purposefully didn't kill him in one strike or whatever to give him a chance to give up. And he didn't. So I don't think that's fair to say that she was the one to kill him, even if technically she was.
Don't understand her at all. But I just can't deal with this yet.
I think that's fair.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you
Because
feel.
Navia wasn't she also wasn't a bitch to Clorent, which I appreciate as well.
Afterward, she ensured Demoiselle Navia's safety.
I do like that, like, in that previous scene, like, Navia was a little irritated with Clorant, but, like, she was also being kind to her and did thank her, you know? She didn't go, like, we didn't need your help or whatever. She did say, like, well, thank you for saving us, but blah, 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 which I really appreciate. That's good for your character, Navia. You're very reasonable, because it is reasonable to still have odd feelings because she did strike your father down.
I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, it's alright.
Paimon's beat.
Like your father, who was beat in the dueling
We
ring.
will ensure you rest soundly.
Ah, amazing.
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday
Okay.
regarding the name Vache.
Got some good info?
So you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence?
Yeah, I mean, this is like a life's work right now.
But that does prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
I think Vache is the one who did it, and he wiped himself because he didn't want people finding out about
There
him.
is one ray of hope. That is the archives kept by Chief Justice Navia,
Ooh.
a place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the Oceanid you met is one
It's
of the young
pronounced
women who went missing
Oceanid?
recently.
Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we?
I would love to. What?
Aren't you coming along, Navia?
Does she not
Did you get tired?
like to talk to him?
Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
Oh, she's still gonna come do it.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
You've got an interesting voice. It's like
Does look pretty
partly old woman, part cutesy.
proves that Nervalet's files are really secure. Clear. I don't care who you are or who you might be related
I like
to.
these little,
Our rules
I forgot what they're called. They keep saying what they are.
Lyney's attorneys.
Mhm.
It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through.
Damn, that's all it took?
Just inside.
Thanks so much.
Is Neovalet gonna be mad that we just like came into his office without a meeting or anything? Oh. Oh. Hello, sir. Do you want a kiss? I don't normally say that to men, so.
It's all right. Please
Oh,
let me know how
he's
I
fine
may
with
be
it.
of assistance to you.
He's fucking awesome.
So you're not mad at us?
In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
I absolutely love him. We said, sorry, we lied to get in. And he's like, oh, it's all right. What do you need? Like...
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to?
Yeah. Oh, man. I adore him.
In the past several years, there are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Back to square one.
Are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy?
She's got a little bit of
Or just
bitterness because he's probably the one
express
who
some tendril of
sentenced...
regret?
Well, he would have been the one to
No.
sentence him to death.
You are not trying
Well,
to do any of that.
Not really, but...
I can hear it in your voice because you felt like you should. Is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
Yeah, but
If
it's
you
his
truly
job.
regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you?
Oh, the
give me
tears
power
running
to
down her
stop him
face.
from throwing his life away. Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all?
Maybe you could have stopped the duel
Was
before he
hanging on a
died.
thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
Oh, he looked
I'm
away.
sorry, Miss Navia.
Oh, he's trying to
And my
maintain eye
father
contact.
Are truly alike. Everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Oh my god. Oh. Loved that scene. Did they get fucking Shakespeare to write chapter 4? Like, I say that, I don't even like Shakespeare, but like, I'm just trying to think of like, you know, someone who's accepted as like a fantastic, incredible, all-time writer.
It's raining.
Yeah, I can tell, it's getting on my face.
Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Sometimes it just rains.
Now that I think of it,
Sometimes rain just
on the day
happens.
my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Wait.
The fact that people can be turned into water.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if the authorities...
I really think I found a true genius in my partner. This new lead in
Poisson.
mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Is Poisson named after like Poseidon?
By yourself later.
Let's do it now.
Great. Let's go then.
I'm gonna continue this mission. I imagine that's what it was asking. Like, do you want to just continue the mission now, or do you want to play some other quests?
Whoa, what a huge ship.
Oh,
Why would a ship be anchored at a place like
yeah.
that?
I went here
There's no need
off
to
camera.
be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
So I already
It was the
know
one
what
who
this
asked
looks
for it to
like.
be built like this.
Fontaine is French inspired, I imagine, right? In the same way that Inazuma is Japanese inspired. And I don't know, the inspiration for other places. Is Liyue supposed to be China? Mondstadt, I don't know. Mondstadt sounds like European, somewhere in Europe. And Sumeru, like East Asian or something? I don't know. I'm bad with geography. Don't ask me. But it seems like Fontaine is France inspired. I mean, that music that was just playing was very French, actually.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and
Oh,
our
yeah,
most
well,
important
right.
partner.
Demoiselle, yeah, it's
You said
absolutely
before
French.
you still had some... Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Tell us a bit. That guard guy who turned into water also mentioned that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion.
Decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques.
Jacques.
He felt greatly ashamed about
Well,
his
there
work
was.
after seeing
It
many
wasn't clear it
families
was
destroyed
French
by
inspired until
centipedes.
then. That's the most French name in the world.
That
Jacques.
But neither appeared to have any motive at all.
Yep.
Looking back on it, though,
Very much like it.
there were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved.
Precisely. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
So it's impossible that the third person was to blame.
I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an
It's interesting that this is a whole, like, this chapter so far is just a big detective game.
Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives.
So he's saying don't be reckless?
There's no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed.
Yeah, it seems
You
shitty.
think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly?
Ooh,
I've never
harsh.
accepted that. Girls, for the victims, and for myself.
You go, girl.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable and
Romantic
more
partner.
importantly,
Do know something else, Maloose.
Yes, I do.
Ooh.
In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target.
Oh.
What?
Shit.
The doctors told him that he had no
Oh.
more than 5 years left to live, and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5
Shit.
years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public.
Oh,
If
shit.
Something would have been gone for a long time. The other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
Except the other day when we
don't
drank
believe it.
primordial
He never
water
appeared to look sick to
on her
me.
behalf.
In front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect
She's not going to be satisfied with that, I don't think.
because he never thought I'd be able to understand.
Oh, she's
him.
crying again.
Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want. That's
I
true.
suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just.
That's
lived
very
out my
true.
life
That's a
without
good
care in
reason.
the world.
I like that reason.
Thankful.
People we may be able to capture, but a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case
true.
would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full
Yeah, start a war for no reason.
You saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
True.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Maloose.
I am the butler, after all.
I like
I
Maloose.
live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. One conclusion I came to is that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here.
It's not your other
Announced
butler, is
orders
it?
to the news.
Mhm.
After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people.
Nice.
The first is Florent, Spina di
Florent.
Rosula's senior advisor. Must avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel. the head of
Marcel.
Confrérie
Which one is the
Gabriel.
Marcel? The glasses one? I
Uncle
imagine.
Marcel.
What's this confrère?
It's a guild in Poisson.
These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most.
Well,
It's almost too hard to believe.
you gotta do one of those things where you make a plan and you tell all 3 of those people a slightly different modification of the plan. Like, oh, if you, we're planning to attack left base, and then say to the next person, we're planning to attack middle base, and to this one, we're planning to attack right base, and whichever one they defend heavily, we're like, well, that's the traitor. We can see because they all defended right base, so it's the third person.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is...
Yeah, but you can't be too suspicious about your trap.
They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
If they want to see us.
You really are the best. A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me. Okay. Well, it gave us... Since it's like started a new case record, does that mean this game, this act is gonna have another trial?
Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Oh,
Thank you for
the girl looks like she's standing behind her mother. That's classic adorable behavior. Hiding behind your mother.
Excuse me, miss.
Look at that. Adele. She's probably ashamed because theoretically, well, because her father was accused of murdering this person's wife / father. No, husband / father. So, like, this is her talking to them is like a parallel of her talking to Neuvillette or Clorend.
Guilt and apology to be genuine.
Oh. That's a sweet response.
Aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques?
Well, yes, but...
That comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift.
The higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly. But Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Someone ordered Jacques to take out Callus?
I don't know that for sure. But you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he
5 female characters in this scene.
It was likely in self-defense.
That's one way to get me emotional.
For what he had done.
But Mama,
with different levels of emotional investment.
Best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
The voice actor.
Thank you for everything you
The way she's struggling through saying that, I love
will
it.
definitely find the truth. The first time anyone said that to me.
Oh man, I can't keep tearing up and crying at every conversation in this fucking quest.
Investigate the 3 suspects next.
Oh,
Laurent should be nearby.
Lord.
And we
Greetings, boss.
Alright, are you a traitor? Are you a traitor?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us.
Traveler and Paimon are pissed at him.
He told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air.
He committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand.
Okay, Florian.
I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands,
I
boss.
feel like I trust
and if
you.
I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day.
But maybe you're too good that you are the traitor.
Comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Well, I think I like Florent, and I think I trust him. Now let's talk to the fucking pig. Oink, oink.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House. Was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Okay.
Are you sure there isn't a little
You're
bit
weird, dude.
Under normal
I feel like he's some traitor.
Up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance.
Oh, he's too suspicious. He's such a red herring, I think.
Friends of yours, you here for some formal business?
Yes. These 2 are my partners. What happened
You're
at the
polyamorous?
Can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it.
He sounds
If
so
you want to go through
suspicious.
The original files from
X in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you
Yep.
would need to do was get rid of the mecha serial
You're being a bit
numbers
too
and
forward with this,
send
Navia.
them after me.
The same goes for me and my Gardamex.
Okay.
Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. Would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
I mean, that's good information.
Then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of
I don't think
confidence.
he's actually in the clear.
You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Oh, I like your voice, Cal Cagni. Can we talk to her more?
To talk to you briefly about what happened in the opera house. I'm sure
When you say
saw everything
uncle,
too, right?
is he your actual uncle, or is that like a you know a term of affection?
Yes.
A term of endearment.
I've never seen anything so strange.
Thank you.
To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered
Um,
Garmax.
Keeping an eye on all of their
Also an
behavior.
attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
Sorry, my age is catching up with me. The Conferee was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time, making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the
You're
time
not
to
giving
drink
us
with the
much
guests.
information.
We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
I'm suspicious of all three of them for different
Just let me
reasons.
know if you ever need.
He held back information. The previous guy, Thierry, didn't like just sounded suspicious in like the way that he talked, and also just his position, I guess, like just him being like a guard of the city. Like, I feel like he's got sort of the power to do it, and he, you know, could easily be an unreliable narrator, like sending us into the wrong, or unreliable source. I guess he's not a narrator, but sending us into the wrong area. And on top of that, we already know that that there are people in the police force that are corrupt, so he could just be one of them. And then the first guy was actually just like a really cool guy, and so because he was like just such a nice guy and he was so helpful and great, I suspect him.
All my
Suspects. Purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I disagree with that.
All that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years.
Yeah.
Anyway, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Han shot first. I wouldn't have fired a shot at all.
And why is that?
Could he guarantee his safety after killing Callus? Could he guarantee his family's safety after killing Callus?
From his perspective, would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father.
Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything.
Megaspecs would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex.
Privately owned ones? Because Thierry would be able to control some sort of Gardamex,
Thierry,
but
you say?
And from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
maybe it was someone else. Oh man, okay. I don't know, actually, between these two. Because I don't really know whom would have, like, how this would tie into either of them. So I'm going to say Marcel because I trust him less.
Uncle Marcel? Wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Oh my gosh, well.
Laurent? It's true that he was learning about his dealings with Jacques.
It's really funny when you've chosen all three options. And so it's like, we go, maybe it was Thierry. And they all go, no, it can't have been Thierry, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, maybe it was whatever his name is. Oh, him? Uncle? No, I don't think it could be him either. Maybe it was someone else then. And I go, Florent? And she goes, Florent? But it's like, he's the only one left, of course. We're talking about it's down to 3 suspects. He was the last one on the list.
For the Mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even
Okay,
if
so
he
it's no
could,
one.
I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
I think. So I think it's got to be Marcel then. That's what I think.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Going into water thing when he narrowed it down to these 3, did he?
Yeah, but I don't think it matters.
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered.
Yeah, because he was
When
doing
he laid out
traps
his
that were
case
based.
for the 3, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well.
Yeah.
Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He's someone who's very close to you, after all.
We still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The synth production base.
Urging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are.
Jerry.
I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
The guy from the
Yeah.
guards. Don't be so rude.
News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Oh?
They said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Whoa, child?
Is that maybe even a little too well?
Surprisingly, he's kind of a friend of ours, even though
Been
he's
accused of being
a
the
harbinger.
true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Yeah.
It'll be a lot harder than to clear Mr. Callus's name.
Do we have to defend child now? Let's split up.
Split up?
To find more evidence? You can go to Irenaeus while I'll go investigate that place.
As the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though,
Mhm.
unless we find more evidence.
Ah, this is gonna be
Up to
great.
you. Hand the decisive evidence to me.
You know what's fun? Like, I'm comparing this to Ace Attorney a lot, right? Because it's very similar to Ace Attorney. But in Ace Attorney, when this sort of situation happens, you're playing as Phoenix Wright or whoever the lawyer is in the game, Apollo Justice, Athena, you know, Mia Fey, whoever you're playing as, and you have to go to the court and you have to do the stalling. But here we're playing as Traveler, so we're going to get the evidence. This sort of situation happens in Ace Attorney, but it's flipped. So this is fun. I've been building these up for a while. 10 of these quaint feints. Let's do our damn pulls with them. I'm not thinking anything super special is gonna happen, but you know, we can hope. We can hope for a Kuchin. Getting a Kuchin constellation would be awesome, but you know, not holding my breath. A wolf's gravestone. Honestly, might be kind of awesome. I mean, I don't think I can be disappointed in that. Oh shit! Well, I'm definitely not disappointed because Jinyan Constellation, even though I don't use her, that on top of a level 5 weapon, yeah, no, that's good shit.
However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel.
Oh shit!
Is that right?
I don't know if that's a great idea, child.
As long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight.
Oh
with that champion duelist
god, right.
right?
That's what he wants.
That's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. But I'm obviously holding back. Real disappointment.
Oh shit.
Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too?
The communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress.
Sounds like he's about to admit to the crime, just so that he can duel.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Navia, stop interrupting court proceedings like this.
Why is she interrupting
Yeah.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings.
And the first time
I
she
only tolerate
was
your
right.
behavior.
I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Mhm.
And if
Doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted.
All right.
that person is...
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, it's been so long since I played. Okay. 3 years ago on a rainy night, heard 2 gunshots outside the house. When they reached the scene, Callus had a gun in his hand, and Jacques had been shot and slain. Based on investigations done then, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped. So we're doing Marcel.
They Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Yep,
Oh, is this
they
gonna
sure
be
were.
friends to enemies type situation?
Everyone loves the dramatics.
Circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and
I love
attorneys, please
Nuvalet.
take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
This is really fucking cool.
Attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both
You should
sides
always have an
arrived,
attorney, man.
Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I'm getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that
She's like, I don't know what's going on.
We'll recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
Aww. This
On
is
the
so
day of the
cool.
murder,
However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Begin refutation. Okay. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in the countryside estate held by the confrérie of Cabriere. During the banquet, heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. According to the investigation, Callus, who had a motive to kill, murdered Jacques for his betrayal. But is that really true? When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect holding a gun. Yep. Certain that Callus did not bring a gun with him. Moreover, details of the case point towards the possibility of a 3rd person on scene. The investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. This deduction is based on the circumstance where there is no 3rd person on the scene, but it turns out that there is a method that can kind of... The suspect did not dispute this conclusion. Okay, so this one. There we go. Do I put the water here to show that there could have been a 3rd person? There we go.
Clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a 3rd person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder.
Point towards the possibility of a 3rd person on scene. The clothing.
This was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Alright. Good shit. I didn't struggle with that one as much as I normally do with these refutations.
You are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal.
And you don't have a lawyer. You chose not to have a lawyer.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
True.
1. Do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
Nope.
But I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home.
Jeez, man.
Investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Furina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself
She's
again?
too cooperative.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
Maybe, and that would be nice.
It is the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only
This
one.
is she's doing a good job
Both of
at
us
convincing
would have
people of
stood
this
to lose
argument.
our lives. Of course, the guards
I'm
might
proud of her.
eventually- This opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist.
Oh, shit.
I said to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course.
Oh.
All you need is to ask his opponent.
Oh shit! She's standing right next to you.
Or your support from the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have.
Yes, I did.
This is so great.
I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring.
Hell yeah! I mean, not hell yeah. That's not a happy sentence, but hell yeah that she said it.
I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
And Furina is being very
However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your
good
father's
right
case
now.
and the serial disappearances
Reasonable.
We're already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet
Oh.
So the thing you just said was true. Can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top
Probably
of
not
that,
the only
Does
person.
a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Not a bad idea.
Of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter. But
Oh.
if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
No.
In some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage.
Mhm.
But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine. First time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
That sounds pretty convincing, actually.
I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Oh, so you do know that name.
Oh shit.
Merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
Ooh, why would you be surprised by that?
Waiting for you to say that.
Oh man! Oh, this is so good. Chapter 4 of this game is so incredible. Inside here we go. Nice. I'm so smart. It would have taken me ages to figure that out if I hadn't done water exploration. Okay, yeah, it's one of those classic, they fill up the water so you can swim up there puzzles.
Don't blink. Hey.
There we go. Dead. There we go. That's up there now. Ooh. Cool little door design. I love the clockwork look of this dungeon. It's very cool. I just think like this chapter has all my favorite stuff in the game. Like, it's looking like it's gonna have my favorite characters. It's looking like it has my favorite setting, my favorite like dungeon themes, like this like clockworky, machiney look, and my favorite story. Like, it's gonna have fucking all of them. It's crazy. This chapter was really made for me. This looks like the that time travel mission that we did. He's being charged by Navia as we speak. Look for evidence. Oh, we're playing as Traveler.
The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Oh, Paimon. Oh. Calm down, Paimon.
You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
The goal of the researcher is to save his lover, a woman called Vignier, who is dissolved.
So that's why you did all of these experiments.
Gotcha.
Wait,
That makes.
that's just insane.
There's another name here.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain?
Mm-hmm.
Paimon will write it all down.
Nice. Good evidence, though. That's very good. So that was the experiment table. Oh. Yep, let's examine the bottles. Bottle. Very nice. Good evidence, good evidence. Is this primordial water? Yep.
That means this is where they make all the synth. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shit.
Seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
They planned this well in advance.
They're all just so evil. Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things. Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace.
Is it the stuff from the victims? There's a name too.
Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled filled with different girls' names.
Yeah, they're the victim stuff.
These names. That means. Oh, this is terrible.
Aww. It's very sad.
She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now.
She made a list of baby names?
Was she unhappy with all of them? The final name she decided on was Marcel.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Wait, Marcel's pretty old.
No, I think that's just where he got the name from, but I think he just chose that name as like an ode to her, but I guess we'll see.
I've merely surprised.
I was waiting for
Oh, nice. We got back just at that time.
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to follow the rules of this court?
Sorry, Neverlet.
I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
Oops. You say that you've never heard of Vache? Oh, really? Well then. How about you tell me about this?
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
There we go.
Huh?
Are we gonna get full traveler dialogue?
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
Oh.
This information.
This music is cool.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
Oh shit.
Attention to you. Ever empathize with my pain?
Oh my god.
Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life? No one even believed me.
Well,
all those decades ago.
here's a confession. Neverlet.
The Maison Gardiennage were laughing blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignier is dead. We promised each other we'd always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved.
That's true.
No matter what I do.
Damn.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea?
Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back?
That's interesting that he's like sad that he can't dissolve himself.
That cursed callus still got the better of me.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me. Don't anybody come near me. I still need to save Vignier. I promise.
Careful of the primordial water.
With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia
Hell
no longer
yeah.
have any basis.
You're welcome, child.
During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved
that's
into
how it
Vache
happened.
as a result. Vache thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearance.
That's a cool case.
Revealed to all.
I really like that.
Against Mr. Vache.
Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal.
There it is!
Mr. Vache.
That is the voice line.
Guilty.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal.
Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee indeed.
Villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been
just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Oh shit.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Just leap up there.
Been identified. and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to
There it
render
is.
the final verdict on the charges.
Oh man.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
Whoa!
Hey, hey! That's not funny.
This is the first time it's ever diverted from his
This
judgment.
verdict. Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before.
Whoa!
Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
Oh.
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
What is going on
The
here?
judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court.
Oh
We
shit.
must accept per court protocol.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even Yervalette is extremely confused. What are you gonna do, child? Oh no. He's gonna fight his
This
way.
is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
Oh shit. Oh, that's pretty sick. Child would get some cool cutscenes. Oh. Oh shit. Yeah, yeah. Yervalette! Yervalette's doing shit.
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth.
Oh, I love
the
him.
rules of the court must be upheld.
I love that. Like him apologizing to him and... You know. Aww. Fucking badass. I love him.
Probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
You have to ask the Archon.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it. I don't know what
I love
happened
her.
there either. Hey, stop staring at me! Judgment could be mistaken, or be the result of some sort of random mishap. Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided
No,
by the
Furina.
Oratrice's results.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty
Yeah, she's got no idea. She's putting on a brave face.
Thing, as the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the Oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment.
She loves to double down.
To do with the serial disappearances
If she
case.
doesn't know what's going on, she'll just go hard into
You
it.
have been blinded by, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict. Now,
I love her voice actor.
although I hate to lose, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
Yeah, it's a bunch of gibberish.
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. Promised. If the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
He's the absolute best.
Even though we feel
Are we towards the end of the act? It's sometimes hard to tell. Like, this feels like the end of an act. It'd be a pretty awesome dramatic end. But sometimes it's like, oh no, this is the middle. Why do you have one guy escorting him? He can turn people to water.
Hey, traveler!
What the fuck do you want, bitch?
I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of
Yep.
that name.
Well, we heard it from her, but
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
I met her.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it?
Something to do with my sensitivity to the hydro
Fountain of
element.
Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. I'm here! Where are you, Lynette?
I feel like she wouldn't be happy about all what you've done.
Wait! Be careful!
I say, you don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than
It's been.
If you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
Oh.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably
Oh,
become
shit.
a top-tier attorney one day. And she would not have grown old and died alone.
Oh my god.
Nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache.
Jesus.
It's all because I am the sacrifices.
Oh.
Every woman who died by your hand. As our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea.
Right.
Am not is Viniere.
Why? But then
Yeah. That's my
She
question.
doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. You are a liar, a heartless man, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing
Oh, I like this.
is Viniere for you.
Looks like I didn't meet Viniere back then either. Yeah.
No. Yeah. She can't hate me.
Well-
Let me see her. Please. Have mercy.
Maybe you shouldn't kidnap and murder women.
Of pity for you, she said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Whoa! Hey, the guards find the conference just lost his soul. Oh shit. Oh shit! That was really cool. I liked that scene a lot.
Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Yep.
No one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court all attended.
Oh, that's nice.
So his name's definitely been cleared now.
Weird we weren't invited, but that's fine.
Didn't give up on the case all those years ago. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial
Oh yeah?
service.
My girlfriend?
Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature.
Aww.
So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since.
I'm happy to hear
She was
that.
I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh,
That's
and
sweet.
in other news, I also took Clarande out for a meal.
Good! I'm glad to hear that.
Better terms now? Thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean,
Oh,
there's also no point in
I
being
love
awkward
this.
all the time. So we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
Oh.
Just how much people still look up to him to this day.
Oh.
That includes me, too.
Oh.
Indeed.
Can I come too?
Few days now.
Whew, man. This is a good wrap up for this act. I really like it. Who could it be? Oh, Neverlet.
Why would the Chief Justice be here?
Does he regret it? Is he like really sad and regretful?
Would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice.
Oh man,
Justice.
Neverlet's voice actor's going off.
Life itself.
Ray
you asked me
Chase,
why
I
I
think,
came
is Neverlet's voice actor.
I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis.
I was getting confused with Keith Silverstein.
Aisha's sadness that has haunted me for days.
Oh.
And I and my
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, Silver, one of my guys.
sorry about that.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude?
You're not supposed to fly around it.
Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too
Look at that smirk. It's so funny.
Nervalette is still standing around there. A few questions, if that's okay.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
Okay, about water from the primordial sea.
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea.
Oh.
You could say it nurtured
At least people from Fontaine dissolve in that kind of water.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life,
engender? Never heard that word before.
Instead, to be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Yep, I will ask you about the prophecy that has been circulating around Fontaine.
That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water.
That one.
Leaving Furina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good.
Yep,
Does
that one.
Appropriately sum if the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Furina by her predecessor.
But with Furina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Good question.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
Oh, okay. You didn't even answer that. About child.
My apology. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
Yeah, there was probably a reason for it.
To the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information.
Too bad it can't just type up
Furina's reaction,
what
I
it
doubt even
means.
she had the time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. I do intend to get to the bottom of this. For now,
it was clear he wasn't
say
super
that the
impressed with
Furry
it
Harbinger
by his voice.
Just have to.
What Station Hill wants is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you?
Okay, final thing about my brother.
Another blonde-haired traveler.
Nah.
I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description.
You've never hit a blonde?
If you ever stepped foot
Seen
in
a blonde
Fontaine,
person?
I'm Les. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me?
No, that's it. No more questions.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you.
Oh, thanks.
It will soon be time.
Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Act 2 complete. Ooh, that was such a good act. I'm so impressed with it. Oh, I'm very happy. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I will see you next time I sit down and do chapter 4, act 3. I'm really excited.